Thanks for staying with us on this Friday night. I'm Tamsin Fidel.
And I'm John Muller. A new report names some of the most dangerous crossings in the tri-state. PIX11s Christie Duffy live in Elmwood Park, New Jersey tonight, where she witnessed some of these problems firsthand. Christie.
John, Tamsin, after what we saw with the Metro North tragedy, I know that what happened here today could have been a lot worse. I was here all afternoon covering this railroad crossing because it's been deemed the riskiest for car-train collisions in the entire New York City metropolitan area. But still, I never thought that we would see two near misses close to the tracks this afternoon.
It started as a false alarm. The van you see here tried to cross the train tracks but got trapped on the wrong side of the gate.
I don't know.
Despite the warning, the train never showed up. But several terrifying seconds later,
Now there's cars.
Another warning. This time, 5 cars are stuck and the van is now blocking the only way out of danger. You can hear the oncoming train chugging down the track. A near miss, and for this dark blue minivan, a very close call.
This is why there's accidents.
And get this, just a couple hours later, it happened again. The crossing gates are down. This time, 2 cars are trapped inside, trying to nervously maneuver away from the tracks. Again, it was a miss, but residents that live within eyeshot of the crossing say they've heard the crunch of cars getting hit too many times.
I heard them. It's pretty loud. Like cars, get hit by trains, or these people usually get stuck like on the tracks,
Why are they getting stuck up there?
because there's a lot of traffic going on, like the lights down there, or it just gets backed up.
And traffic did get backed up onto the tracks this afternoon. A 16-wheeler had to reverse away from the crossing. Luckily, no train was coming this time. This crossing is located on Midland Avenue in Elmwood Park, and it's been ranked #1, the riskiest railroad crossing in the New York City region by the Federal Railroad Administration. There have been 8 car-to-train collisions here in just a 5-year span from 2009 to 2013. Some of the crashes in Elmwood Park have been deadly. Also making the top 5 list, 3 crossings on Long Island and another busy Bergen County crossing on Main Street in Ramsey.
And here you can see traffic is now moving just fine over the tracks. And I did see NJ Transit crews out here today. They were working on testing some of the signals. That's what they told me, at least, so that it could explain why we saw some of those false alarms where they came down, but there was no train in sight. I also talked to a New Jersey Transit spokesperson who says they are continuously working to try and make this and every crossing safer. He says all crossings in New Jersey run by New Jersey Transit are inspected every 30 days. So you can hear a train coming now, but the sentiment, and look, right behind me now, a car is getting stuck under the arm as it comes down. This one on the other side of the tracks trying to reverse out away from the train track. So as you can see, this happens quite frequently. And another K-turn. That's exactly what happened earlier and how those oncoming cars got stuck. Anyway, New Jersey Transit is telling me that they are talking about putting in another traffic signal further away. They have put more signals, lights, and signs to try and make this a safer crossing, but they're talking about putting in more traffic signals further down the block to try and avoid traffic getting backed up onto these train tracks. Live in Elmwood Park, Christie Duffy, PIX11 News. Tamsin, John?
Christie, that's really remarkable. That happened right on cue. Have you seen it? I mean, I know you saw at least one. Has it been happening all afternoon?
It has been happening all afternoon. That's the 3rd or 4th time.
And then how quick the train is coming right back.
Yeah, that thing is steaming through. Thank you so much, Christie.
Wow. Yeah, unbelievable. That is seriously. I mean, that explain. We talk about it. We talk about the seconds, and we explain the distance. But when you see that
shouldn't happen for another day.
I mean, she was finishing up her sentence, and the train's coming behind her. Now on our ongoing look at dangerous railroad crossings in the tri-state, the issue went under a microscope after that deadly Metro North accident near Valhalla in February. Well, lawmakers are now making a strong push to make accidents at those crossings a thing of the past. PIX11s Christie Duffy is here tonight with the very latest for us. Hi there, Christie.
Hi, Tamsin. You might remember the horrifying scene we showed you a few weeks ago. Cars trapped on the tracks in Elmwood Park. It's a crossing where cars and trains often collide, but changes are now on the way. Nearly $1 million in construction improvements will start in just a couple weeks to make this crossing safer.
5 cars are trapped between the safety gates. A train is coming. It's a close call that apparently happens all the time. Cars pass the safety gates at this railroad crossing on Midland Avenue in Elmwood Park multiple times a day. We witnessed 10 vehicles do it in just several hours. The Federal Railroad Administration says train-into-car crashes are more likely to happen here than at any other railroad crossing in the tri-state area.
There have been 40 accidents here. In just 29 years, people's lives have been lost.
Congressman Pascrell wrote a letter urging the New Jersey Department of Transportation to act.
I saw your camera shots last time you were here, and those camera shots were more than ever. People should see them. People should see that your TV program, they should show that many, many times. It's education. Engineering, education, and enforcement is the answer to solving these problems.
New Jersey's Department of Transportation is listening. They announced a plan Thursday to spend $800,000 on safety improvements. $300,000 will be covered by the federal government. New traffic signals will be installed that are programmed to sense if traffic is getting backed up ahead.
And we're going to put in what they call a Q sensor. The STAT system will alert drivers along here, Chris, as to what's happening ahead of them.
The ground will also get painted and will say, "Do not block the box." Fred Arrigo welcomes the changes. His business sits right next to the crossing.
You've seen accidents here again and again over the years.
Yes, it happens all the time. It's just the way that it's situated on an angle. So it's something we got to live with. Maybe now with this all this news coverage, something will get done to the benefit.
Something is being done to benefit. Altogether, the $800,000 that will be spent on safety upgrades are to be expected to continue over a course of 3 months to install them, and the construction should start in just a couple weeks. Now, Midland Avenue will have to be closed for 2 weeks, and NJDOT says they will put out an alert when the detours are coming.
I mean, that's just one area, but we're talking about there's got to be other areas they're dealing with right now. So what is it, Congressman? What are next steps?
Well, he's hoping to push a bill through that would double the amount of federal spending, an additional $240 million just for spending on safety improvements to railroad crossings.
All right, Christie, thank you so much. I know you were out there and you saw it happen firsthand during her
dramatic.
live shots.
Yeah.
I've been following a lot of safety improvements underway at the most dangerous railroad crossing in our region, the site in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. It's known for a lot of close calls, even with our PIX11 cameras rolling in the past. Well, PIX11's Christie Duffy has the details tonight on what is being done to try and prevent accidents from happening there.
John and Tamsin, shovels are in the ground here on Midland Avenue in Elmwood Park today, and many in the area say it is a long time coming that they've seen too many crashes and close calls at this railroad crossing before. We've shown you this before, the near crash that PIX11 News caught on camera. 5 cars trapped on the railroad tracks with a train speeding toward them at up to 70 miles an hour. It was a near miss, but again and again, people from the area and our cameras caught cars missing the flashing lights and closing gates. It was coverage like this and pressure from Congressman Bill Pascrell that led to today. NJ Transit and New Jersey's Department of Transportation has deployed construction crews and cranes. $800,000 is being invested to install a new lighting system designed to keep traffic from backing up onto the tracks. A new crossing surface and signs are also part of the plan. All welcome changes after too many crashes.
There's been a lot of accidents recently A lady actually made a wrong turn and pulled down the tracks.
Many times I have seen it, happening.
There have been 16 accidents here in 10 years. A nearby store owner, Sam Patel, witnessed the aftermath of this crash. In 2009, a train traveling at the legal speed limit of 70 miles per hour through the crossing slammed into the right side of a woman's car. It was crushed. Just like the close call we witnessed, traffic trapped the driver inside the gates. The police report said that due to the speed of the oncoming train, the driver was unable to take any further action. 400 people were on board the train. Only the driver was hurt.
She was lucky to get out of it, she had some bruises there, so.
They have to do something before somebody else gets killed here.
People are hoping that these changes will have a lasting effect. This railroad crossing has the highest predicted rate of accidents out of any in the entire metropolitan region. Construction is expected to take 3 months. In Elmwood Park, I'm Christie Duffy, PIX11 News.
First at 10, it is the region's most dangerous railroad crossing with many close calls. Some you've seen live right here on the air at PIX11. But over the weekend, it was a much different story after a car did not make it off the tracks. Thanks for joining us on this Monday night. I'm Tamsin Fidel.
And I'm John Muller. Their car was crushed by that speeding train in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. And now that couple says they've been hit again, this time with a ticket for failing to move off the tracks. PIX11's Christie Duffy spoke to the victim. She's got an update for us tonight.
This story is not truth, and I rephrase, not true story.
Basan Sayaj says NJ Transit is lying about what caused the crash that did this. Over 50 stitches in his leg, bruises on his head, his wife Rhonda in pain.
Besides people getting hurt and almost being killed, they make up a story like this.
Basan was thrown from his black BMW around 1 a.m. Sunday. Rhonda was driving. Both say the warning gates never went down until after they were hit.
No bells, no nothing.
NJ Transit contends that the safety warning system was working properly, warning others not to drive around down crossing gates.
All lies.
NJ Transit wrote Rhonda a ticket. The couple plans to fight it. Here is what their car could have looked like. This Lexus was hit at the same crossing back in 2009. This is from the same year. What looks like a crumpled up tin can was a Ford pickup truck. Both drivers survived. Now construction is underway to add more warning lights and signs at the crossing. But is it enough to stop the series of crashes and close calls that this crossing is prone to? I'm Christie Duffy, PIX11 News.
Crossing signal systems designed to keep you safe, but according to the Federal Railroad Administration nationwide, that system fails to work, get this, 300 to 400 times a year. So what about the most dangerous crossing in our region, one in Elmwood Park, New Jersey? Tonight, Christie Duffy takes a look. It's our cover story.
Basan Sayaj worries that he'll never recover from this crash. He was in the passenger seat when his car and a New Jersey Transit train collided in April. This is the crossing where he and his wife were hit. It is the most dangerous railroad crossing in the New York metropolitan area, according to the Federal Railroad Administration. It's on Midland Avenue in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. In the past 25 years, there have been 24 collisions. 8 have been injured here, and 2 pedestrians have died, one of them a suicide. In this legal document, the Sayages claim that the day they were hit, the crossing gates malfunctioned, trapping their car on the tracks.
This gate not working proper, that's why you have this accident.
An NJ Transit spokeswoman told us just the opposite, stating, quote, the safety warning system was working properly. And in fact, the Saezges were ticketed for disregarding the railroad crossing. But the railroad's own incident reports obtained by PIX11 show gate malfunctions reported at Midland Avenue dozens of times. Incident records list at least 36 malfunctions reported in the past 10 years. One malfunction was reported just 4 days before a 2013 crash. Incident reports from the day of the Saezges crash were not available. We asked the Federal Railroad Administration about the dozens of malfunctions reported at this crossing. A spokesman told us they are now investigating both the Saezges crash and what they call, quote, the spate of partial activation failures at this crossing. We also asked NJ Transit about the malfunction reports. They say these are simply calls made to police and that it's up to transit mechanics to determine if there is an actual problem at the crossing. None of the reported gate malfunctions listed at Midland Avenue are in here. This is the Federal Railroad Administration's database of crossing gate failures. NJ Transit says that's because there has never been an activation failure at this crossing. An investigator we talked to believes these reported malfunctions should be in the database.
When you find out that the Federal Railroad Administration doesn't have the information, that means that the railroad failed to report it, or the FRA, the Federal Railroad Administration, is not checking up with their inspectors.
Bob Comer says he's investigated over 400 railroad crashes nationwide. He says the railroad industry largely relies on the railroads themselves to report issues to the policing agency, the FRA.
The claims of the railroad crossing activations or warning devices being fail-safe is a giant lie.
I'm not the first victim on that road.
NJ Transit declined to provide us with an on-camera interview for this story, but they urge drivers to pay close attention at all grade crossings and to immediately stop when the safety lights start flashing. John Tamsen.